Hello, welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations in Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and tonight I'm going to do a near animal that everyone is extremely familiar with. I want to do a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's one of my favorite dinosaurs, and I'll show you how to do that from start to finish. And the things I really want to emphasize here are like the head and the jaws. You know, they get the little arms with the two little claws, you know, the body and the legs, and especially the feet. I'll show you some really good techniques to make those, simplify it so you can break it down and you're like, oh, okay, that's the way they make them. I also wanted to mention that Tyrannosaurus means tyrant lizard, and Rex means king, so they always called him the king of the dinosaurs. That's a nice little tidbit for you to know. I want to show you the types of clay that you can use. There's an oil-based clay such as this that never hardens, and this is the one I mentioned in the past I used over and over again when I was a little kid, and I love using this clay because once I got bored with whatever I made, I just remade something new, and you could use it again and again. Another type of clay that you can use is an air-hardening clay such as this, which can be used, it takes about 2 hours or overnight to dry, but then once it hardens you can paint it and it'll be permanent. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be fired in an oven at about 275 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. You can bake it, sand it, drill it. You can make a tremendous amount of detail with this clay, and you know, once you fire it, it's great because it's permanent. I'll show you the size balls of clay that we'll be using tonight. These two balls here, this is what we're going to be making the jaw with, the head. This next big ball here, we will be using for the body. These next two balls of clay, we're going to use these for the legs. These three smaller balls here that you see here, these are what we're actually going to use for the feet. And then there's 3 claws on each one of those foot or feet, and this is the size of the balls of clay that we'll be using for that. The first step in the process that I want to do is I'll show you, I want to make the head of the dinosaur. I'm just going to make the basic shape. I'm not going to put the teeth. And I do want to mention tonight that this is going to be part 1 of 2 shows, and I'll just show you the basics. We'll get the form done, and then I'll show you all the good stuff next week with like the detailing and that kind of fun stuff. But we want to make the head here and the lower jaw and the upper jaw, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to take this ball of clay right here, and what I'm going to do is kind of squeeze it. You can kind of see that I'm squeezing it. It's going to be a little thicker in the back. See this, how I'm just kind of, this is going to be the jaw. So what I'm going to do is kind of push my thumb in to make that imprint. That's going to be the upper jaw. And see that nice shape that we're making right now? And I want to make that little indentation. So I made that little indentation. Kind of push your fingers in there and make that indentation. Make that like U shape. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of make the eyes. So you pinch this like this. So I'm kind of pinching that clay, bringing it up a little bit, and we're creating that area where the eye is going to be. And then we're going to proceed to do the same thing on the other side. I take this, pinch it, kind of flatten it out, then kind of squeeze it this way. And I want to make sure they're in the same location. And then, so you can start to see it taking shape. See how we get the eyes here? And then you get the snout. And then what I want to do too is make a couple of indentations with my thumb right here. Right here. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I want to make sure I do it in the right spot for the jaw. So that's what the head is starting to look like. That's going to be the top. That's going to be the front. And those are the sides, and that will be the back. We're going to proceed to make the lower jaw. I'm going to take this ball of clay here now, and I'm going to squeeze it. See how we're squeezing that? We're going to lengthen it out. Just like that. And I'm kind of making indentations in here because that's the inside of the jaw, the lower jaw. And I want to see how much clay we really need here. It might be too much. So what I think I'll do is I'll take, see the end here? I'm going to take a little bit of clay off here, and then we can add it back if we need to. Because what I want to do is I'm squeezing this area here. See, I'm kind of pulling that up. I'm doing the same on the other side. Just going to pull that up a little bit. So this is what we have done so far. See how the jaw is indentated? And then I kind of pulled it up a little bit on that side and that side. So what we're going to do is, see how these are kind of fit together? What I'm going to do is maybe take a little more clay off the bottom here, because it looks like it's and then we can kind of mold these together a little bit. But that's the basic shape that you want, see? And then we can make them open and close his jaws. But that's what the head will look like. That's what it's going to look like head on. That's what it's going to look like from the side, other side, and the back. The next thing that I want to do is just kind of compare it to the dinosaur head here. See if it's about the same size. They're approximately the same size, so that we're in good shape there. Now I want to make the body. So we're going to take, the body is this area up here, the neck, and it goes all the way down to the tail here. And we'll proceed to make that. So what I'm going to do is take this big ball of clay here, and I'm going to start to squeeze it. And then I'm going to start to pinch down this end here so we can make the tail. So I'm kind of going around, pinching it. You see I'm pinching that? That way we can pull the tail out. Just like that. Just work it out like that. Just like that. And then what we want to do is I want to squeeze this more into like a potato shape now. See, I'm kind of squeezing that. Just keep squeezing that, because this eventually this is going to be where the neck is going to be. And then this is the back, but then down the bottom here, there's like a bone that protrudes out on the bottom here. See, I'm kind of pulling that out, just like that. Just. Which looks good. I'll show you, we're almost there with the, so now what we also want to do is, see the tail here? I want to kind of pinch that like that. Pinch that in almost a triangular shape. You want to do it, and then we're going to to kind of like create the spine of the T-Rex. So you just kind of pinch along. Just keep, see how I'm pinching that? I just want to make sure I even it up. Because eventually what we're going to do is we're going to attach these. But what I'm going to do is take this, kind of pinch this a little bit like this. See what I'm doing here? That way we can attach the head at some point. But I just want to get it ready. So we can't do that. Okay, so I want to show you now. Looks very similar to the green one. Let's see, I'll get my hand out of the way. But you can kind of see the body, how it's about the same size. And now we'll proceed to make the legs, which are, I want to put this down with this here. And I want to make these legs here so we can eventually make the feet. So I'll show you, we'll take these legs and we're going to make this particular shape right here. See the shape of that leg? So it's got a nice bend here. There's like a knee bone there. Then there's like another bone back here before you go down into the foot. So what I'm going to do is take this, and what we want to do is squeeze it down here. That there. So we want to kind of create this area down here. So now, just think of almost like a chicken thigh or something at this point. That's what it kind of looks like right now. We're just going to keep working it. And I'll show you, we're going to make that knee bone that's here, coming out here. Then you're going to have another bone kind of protruding back here. See how I'm making this point? That there. I want to check against these. We got a little more work to do on these. Let me see if they're about the same size now. Just a little bit more. Just like that. Let me see if it's... So when we want to put it on the dinosaur, we're going to put it approximately in that location, like that. So what I'm going to do is make the other leg in the same manner. So this is what you want the leg to look like at this point. See that? You got the nice elbow or the knee here. Then there's a bone that protrudes out here, and then this goes down. So we've done that piece, and I'll proceed to make the other leg. And we'll do the same exact thing. See, I'm kind of squeezing this and pulling it along. So we'll get that bottom part. We're going to create that bone in the back. I'll show you. going to make it protrude a little bit. So we'll just see. Just want to make sure these are approximately the same size. See how they're coming along. See, they're approximately the same size. I just need to work it a little bit more. If you see them side by side, I just need to do a little bit more to shape them. And then what I'm going to do is take this leg here, because this is going to be the leg that's on the left. See, I'm going around here and I'm kind of flattening it out like this, because this is what we're going to press into the left side for the leg. And then we'll proceed to do the other side, and we'll do just the opposite. Just take that, kind of pinch it going around like that. See how it looks now? And that's the part that's going to go, it's going to be the right leg. And then another thing that I would like to do is we want to build up the back of the legs here. See this right here? There's like a muscular area here. So we're going to add a piece of clay here and add a piece of clay there. And that's what it looks like from the side. It looks like it's kind of bulging out. And that's what we want to do for our dinosaur. So I'll take and add some clay in the back. A little piece like this. And we could just add, I can add that right here, because it kind of gives it a more muscular look. Just work that in like that. See how I put that second piece of clay there? And then we're going to proceed to do the same on the other side of it. So now, I'm going to put this one on this side. It's a little long. Take a piece off there. Subtractive technique. See how we just built that up? And we'll do the same on the other side. So I want to do that for the next leg. Take that piece of clay, work it in like that. And I'm going to get another piece of clay over here, we're going to add. Just like that. So I'm going to take that piece of clay about that size. And then we're going to add that to the side over here. Just like that. We can refine it a little bit more later. I just wanted to get that started. And then the next step in the process that I would like to do is I want to create the feet and then the claws, because this is a very interesting way of doing this. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be attaching these feet and these claws. And then there is also another claw back here also. Let's see if you can kind of see that. There's another one there. So you have 3 in front and then you have 1 in back. It's a very small one, but we'll also be making that. So what we're going to proceed to do is think of these little balls of clay as like little logs. You can take them on the table, kind of roll them on the table like this, into like little logs. We'll do it for all 3 of these to kind of get the shape going. And then we'll do this one. So now what I want to do is take them with my fingers and just extend them out a little more. Make sure we get the right length. So what we're going to do on one side here, I'm going to take my finger and tap it on the end like this. See, I'm just tapping the end of the claw or the foot. That's where we're going to put the claw. So we're going to proceed to take this right now, see this, and just work that together. So the foot, attach the foot. Just like that. Go all the way around. Now the next thing that we want to do is we want to attach the second foot. So we're going to take this. I'm just going to work this a little more. Think of a little log. I want to make sure it's about approximately the same size. I'm going to tap this in because that's where we're going to put the claw. And now we're going to proceed to take this. See, we attach it right here. See how I'm attaching that? And just working in like this. Just take and work it in. And I'll take my little tool here, and we can kind of get in between there. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to make the other foot. So the nice little log that we created. I'm going to tap it on the end here. That's where the claw is going to go. And we're going to proceed to attach that like this. See that? We'll attach it on this side. And just kind of work that together like that. So now you've created that foot. See how we did that? That's the top of it, with the front, and that's what the bottom will look like. So now what we want to proceed to do is we want to make the claws. So we're going to take these balls of clay here, and I'm going to take, and what I try to do, I'll see how this? I'm taking and squeezing it into a point, almost like a bird's beak. Think of that. Just going to tap the claw back here. So you kind of tap it to make it flat. See that? And then see how you almost, think of almost like a bird's beak. You make that nice and sharp, just like that. Now we're going to proceed to attach that to the foot. So take this, see how I just put that there? Attach that to the foot. Just like that. Just kind of push down on it so it becomes attached. We'll proceed to make the other 2 claws. So think of the bird's beak. Make that nice and sharp. Tap it on the end so we can fit it to the foot. And then we're going to proceed to put that right here on the end. See this, how we're attaching it? And then the last and final claw on here, I'll roll it, make it look like a bird's beak. Just like that. Tap it on the end, because that's where we're going to attach it. And we're going to proceed to Put that claw here. Attach it right here. See that? Push that in. Now, I'll show you. See that? We just created the T-Rex foot. Very simple way of doing it. Very basic. And it's an excellent technique to make the feet. And we're going to proceed to make the other one. And having finished the second foot, this is what it should look like. So this is what your two legs will look like with the claws. Very easy technique to put them together, very basic, but it gives you a great result. The only other claw that we want to attach now is, I'll show you, we're going to get a little piece of clay. There's going to be a little claw on the back of each leg. I'll show you the size that it should be. So we can kind of roll this. So just kind of roll that shape. Then what I want to do is take and create the claw. But this one here, when we create it, I'll put this one down. I'll show you. We'll create that claw. Make it nice and sharp. But instead of attaching it like we did with the other, I'm going to get a toothpick. And so you can see this? Take the toothpick and kind of just go around a little bit to create an indentation. That way you can see where the claw is. See that? If you get close enough, you can see that the indentation for the claw. And we'll proceed to do that in the other one also. So just take your toothpick, just kind of go around the edge of the claw. That way. And then what we're going to do, let's see which side this, okay, this claw here will go right here, right about there. So on the inside of the leg, and we'll proceed to do the same for the other. I'm going to take and put that, attach it right here. So now when you look at this leg, see where that claw is, where I attached it? And that's where you should attach the claw. And then I just want to kind of make sure this body is just about ready to what we want to do is I'm going to take this leg now and attach it here. Then I also want to go in here too, because I want to make sure some of the clay, I attach it from the inside, because otherwise, see, I'm taking the tool and rubbing up the clay on the body to right up to the leg. I want to make sure that that's going to stick all right. And we're going to proceed to put the other leg on the other side. Like that. See, I'm squeezing them together. Kind of working that in. Just like that. You want to work that in pretty good. I want to see if I can, how that's going to look. I want to make sure that the clay is, I push the clay on the inside. See my tool? I'm kind of pushing that clay up on the inside, because that's critical to making sure it stays attached on the inside. So our sculpture is moving along nicely. The next thing that I want to show you is, I got to make sure I got the right size. I want to make the arms, but I just want to quickly test, see if I need bigger clay. Yeah, I'll just add a little more to this, and I'll show you the size balls we'll use to create the arms. Let's see. I want to roll it into a ball. And I want to roll the other one into a ball. Let's see. I want to make sure they're the same size, though. Yep. So now I want to make the arm. I'll show you what the arm looks like. See this arm here? With those two brown claws? I'll show you how to make that. It's very simple to make. And proceed to show you how to do that. We'll just kind of make that basic shape for the, see, I'm going to make it into like, look like a little arm. This is going to be the upper part of the arm. See how that's beginning to look? Now what you want to do is take and kind of pinch two little claws out from the clay. This side you kind of pinch it out, and then see I'm like taking this and I'm pinching it out and pulling it. Because our T-Rex has two fingers on each hand. So that, do that. See that, how simple that was? You got the two claws that we pulled out. You create the arm. And it's actually quite nice. And you can see how it compares to the other one that I did on the other one. So we'll make two of those. I'll take and I'll proceed to take this again. So you think of making like that arm-like shape. Want to make sure enough. And then we want to pull on these two ends to make those claws. See, I'm just pulling and making into a point. And then you take on the other side, you pull and do the same thing. You pull the clay to make that second claw. Just like that. Make sure they're approximately the same size. So then what we want to do is I'll attach it approximately right here. See that right now? We can attach that little arm, push like that, and then we'll proceed to do that on the other side. Take and just work that in like that. And now we can kind of take a look and see where our dinosaur is at. See how he's starting to take shape? And I think this is going to be a good breaking point for tonight. I just wanted to get the basic shape of the dinosaur made, and part 2 of the show will be next week, and I'll show you how to do all the detail with the scales and how to finish the eyes and finish the mouth and put the teeth in there. And it'll be a very interesting process. So I do want to thank you for coming to Creations in Clay tonight, and I look forward to seeing you in part 2 next week.